been alive 68 years, and my mama taught me one thing that stuck. When somebody shows you who they are in the dark, you light up the whole damn room. 4th of July barbecue at my son Travis's McMansion in Austin, Texas. 42 people, most I didn't know, packed around the pool with their brisket and Shiner Bock. Fireworks popped overhead, red and blue sparks raining down like confetti, and everyone was too drunk on freedom and beer to notice what I saw. My daughter-in-law Olivia's hand hovering over my lemonade. Something pinched between those French-tipped nails. A quick twist, a pour, a stir with her pinky finger. Smooth as silk. Practiced. The kind of move you perfect in front of a mirror. "Here you go, Grandma Lorraine," she sang, sliding the glass toward me with those porcelain veneers gleaming in the tiki torchlight. My heart kicked like a mule, but I kept my face pleasant as peach cobbler. I reached for a burger, took my time with the pickles, let her think I was just another doddering old fool who couldn't see past her own nose. But I'd been watching Olivia for 2 months now, ever since I found that photograph. If you're already hooked and want to see how this family drama explodes, hit that subscribe button right now and drop a comment telling me, would you have swapped that glass? Let's go. Let me back up, because this story doesn't start at a barbecue. It starts in late April, when I was visiting Travis and Olivia's house in their fancy Westlake Hills neighborhood. You know the type, all glass and steel overlooking Lake Austin, the kind of place that screams, "We have money and we want you to know it." I was helping Olivia with laundry. She had thrown her back out at hot yoga, or so she claimed, when I found Travis's gym bag shoved in the back of their walk-in closet. Now, I wasn't snooping. The bag was leaking something that smelled like old protein shake, and I wasn't about to let that stink up their fancy California closet system. I unzipped it to empty the bottle, and that's when the photograph fell out. My son, Travis, 34 years old, CrossFit trainer, the kind of man who still calls me Mama and tears up during Pixar movies. My baby boy, sitting at some hotel bar in Dallas, his arm around a blonde woman in a red dress, her head on his shoulder, his wedding ring nowhere to be seen. The timestamp on the photo said March 15th, 3 weeks before his 5th anniversary to Olivia. I stood there in that closet, my hands shaking so hard I nearly dropped my phone when I snapped a picture of the picture. I put everything back exactly how I found it, went downstairs and told Olivia I wasn't feeling well, drove home to my little bungalow in Clarksville and didn't sleep for 2 days straight. My Travis cheating? The boy who cried when we had to return a lost puppy to its boner? The man who'd proposed to Olivia at the top of Mount Bonnell with a flash mob singing "Marry You" by Bruno Mars? It didn't make sense, but that photograph didn't lie. Now, I should mention, I've got 2 kids, Travis here in Austin and my daughter Kristen up in Portland with her wife Amanda. Kristen's a pediatric nurse, lives too far away to visit often, but we FaceTime every Sunday. I thought about calling her right then, asking her advice. But what was I going to say? Your brother might be cheating and I found proof in his dirty gym bag? That's not a phone conversation. That's an in-person, sit-down-with-wine conversation. So I did what any good Southern woman does when she needs answers. I started watching. Not stalking, mind you. Just, observing. I started dropping in unannounced. Calling at odd hours. Paying attention to who came and went from their house. That's when I noticed Jennifer. Jennifer Hartley, old college friend from UT, according to Olivia. Blonde, late 20s, yoga instructor at the same studio where Olivia taught. The kind of woman who wore Lululemon like a second skin and drank green smoothies for breakfast. She started showing up at their house every week, sometimes twice a week. And I saw the way my son looked at her. Not like a friend, not even like a man trying to hide an affair. Something else. Something that made my stomach twist into knots. His eyes would light up when she walked in a room. He'd find excuses to be near her. And Olivia? Olivia would watch them both with this expression I couldn't quite read. Part anger, part something else. Something calculating. By June, Jennifer was at every family gathering. Travis's birthday cookout at Zilker Park, Father's Day brunch at Maddie's, the Juneteenth celebration at my house where I made my famous pecan pie, and nobody said a word about the elephant in the room.
I pulled Travis aside that day while he was helping me with dishes. "Son," I said quietly, scrubbing a casserole dish harder than necessary, "are there something you need to tell me?" He'd frozen, his hands deep in sudsy water. "About what, Mama?" "About Jennifer." The dish he was holding slipped back into the sink with a splash. "Jennifer's just a friend. I told you that." Travis Allen Montgomery. I used his full name the way I had when he was 7 and broke Mrs. Patterson's window with a baseball. "I've known you for 34 years. I know when you're lying." He'd turned to me then, and I saw something in his eyes I'd never seen before. Fear. Real, bone-deep fear. "Mama, please, just trust me. I'm not doing what you think I'm doing." "Then what are you doing?" "I can't tell you yet, but I promise, I swear on Daddy's grave, I'm not cheating on Olivia." My husband, Ray, had been dead for 6 years. Massive heart attack at 63, keeled over right in the middle of his favorite barbecue joint on South Lamar. Travis knew better than to swear on his daddy's grave unless he meant it, so I'd backed off. A little, but I kept watching. And that's when I noticed Olivia's behavior changing. She got quieter, started losing weight. I'd catch her staring at Travis and Jennifer with this look that could freeze hell over. She began asking me questions, weird questions, about my health, about my will, about who would take care of Travis if something happened to me. "Why are you asking me this, sweetheart?" I'd said one day in early June when she'd cornered me at the grocery store on West Lynn. "No reason, Grandma Lorraine. Just, thinking about the future. You know how it is." But I saw her hands shaking, saw the prescription bottle she tried to hide in her purse when she thought I wasn't looking. Xanax, high dosage. The final piece fell into place 2 weeks ago, at a family dinner at their house. I'd gone to use the bathroom, and when I came back, I heard Olivia on the phone in their bedroom. The door was cracked. "I can't keep doing this, Stephanie. I can't keep pretending everything is fine when I know. I see the way he looks at her. I see the sneaking around. He thinks I'm stupid." Stephanie was her sister, lived up in Dallas, worked as a pharmaceutical rep. "I need something that would just make her sick, not kill her, just sick enough that he'd have to come home, stop running off to help Jennifer with every little thing, something untraceable." My blood ran cold.
"Steph, I'm not going to hurt his mother. I'm going to make her sick at a family gathering, and then everyone will think maybe Jennifer brought something. Maybe Jennifer's trying to hurt the family. Maybe Jennifer's not who she says she is." A frame job. She was planning to frame Jennifer by making me sick. I'd left that house and driven straight to Target, where I bought a baby monitor with a camera, the kind you can hide in small spaces, the kind that records everything with surprisingly good audio and a wide-angle lens. And I'd been planning my own setup ever since. Which brings us back to the 4th of July barbecue. Red, white, and blue everywhere. Travis had strung up lights around the pool that looked like little American flags. Someone had brought a speaker, blasting Luke Combs. The smell of mesquite smoke hung in the air thick enough to chew. I'd hidden that baby monitor behind a potted fern on the outdoor bar, angled perfectly toward where I planned to sit. I'd made sure to arrive early, secured my spot, and waited. Olivia had been nervous all day. I could see it in the way she kept touching her hair, checking her phone, watching the driveway. Jennifer hadn't arrived yet, and that seemed to make Olivia even more jittery.
"Everything okay, honey?"
I asked her around 6 when she was in the kitchen, frantically stirring a bowl of potato salad that was already perfectly stirred.
"Fine. Everything is fine, Grandma Lorraine. Just want everything to be perfect, you know?"
"I know, baby. You always were a perfectionist."
She'd smiled at me then, but it didn't reach her eyes. "I just want this family to be honest with each other. Is that too much to ask?" Interesting choice of words. When Jennifer finally showed up around 7:30, the whole energy shifted. She walked through the side gate in white denim shorts and a blue crop top, her blonde hair in a high ponytail, looking like she'd stepped out of a beer commercial. Travis's face lit up like the damn fireworks that were already starting in someone's yard down the street. He practically ran to her, gave her a hug that lasted 3 seconds too long. I watched Olivia watch them. Her jaw was so tight I thought her teeth might crack. "Hey, Mrs. Montgomery," she came over to me, all sunshine and smiles. "I brought homemade salsa. Hope that's okay." "That's lovely, dear. Travis has told me so much about you." "Has he?" She glanced at him, something unreadable in her expression. "I hope good things." "Oh, very good things. He seems to think the world of you." I saw Olivia's hand clench around her wine glass hard enough to turn her knuckles white. The evening wore on. Burgers and brisket were served. Travis's friend Marcus got way too drunk and started doing cannonballs into the pool. Someone's kid knocked over a bowl of queso. Normal chaos. But I kept my eyes on 3 people: Travis, Olivia, and Jennifer. Travis kept making excuses to talk to Jennifer, asking if she needed another drink, laughing too hard at her jokes. And Jennifer, she seemed oblivious. Or maybe she was just a good actress. She chatted with everyone, helped in the kitchen, played with the kids in the pool. Olivia, meanwhile, had barely eaten. She kept refilling her wine glass, kept watching, waiting. Around 9 o'clock, when the fireworks were supposed to start, she made her move. I'd positioned myself at one of the high-top tables near the bar, right in view of my hidden camera. Olivia brought over a fresh pitcher of lemonade. I'd specifically told her earlier that I couldn't drink alcohol because of my blood pressure medication. "Made this special for you, Grandma. Extra ice, just how I liked it." "You're so thoughtful, sweetheart." She'd smiled and walked away, but I saw her watching from across the pool deck, near the outdoor kitchen where Travis was loading hot dogs onto a platter. That's when the fireworks started. The neighbors, not ours yet. Everyone's attention turned to the sky, the boom and crackled, the oohs and ahs. And that's when Olivia made her move. She came back toward the bar, casual as anything, like she'd forgotten something. Her hand went into her cardigan pocket. The little vial came out. Twist, pour, stir. 5 seconds, tops. She was good. If I hadn't been watching, I would have missed it entirely. "Here you go, Grandma Lorraine," she said again, sliding the glass closer to me, making certain I saw it, fresh and cold. You still with me? Because this is where everything goes sideways. Drop a comment and tell me what you think Olivia put in that drink. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. Trust me, you do not want to miss this. My heart was hammering so hard I could hear it over the fireworks. But I kept my face calm, serene, like I didn't have a care in the world. I reached for a burger, took my time adding relish, really drawing it out. Let her sweat. "Actually, sugar," I finally said, reaching across to where she'd set down her own glass of lemonade. "My blood sugar's been acting up something fierce today. Mind if we swap? Yours has less ice anyway." I saw the exact moment the color drained from her face, like someone had pulled a plug. "Grandma, no, that one's got vodka." Even better. I'd already switched them, taking a long, deliberate drink from her clean glass. Tastes just like regular lemonade to me, real smooth, like nothing's in it at all. No vodka flavor whatsoever. The glass trembled in my hand, just a little, just enough for her to see. Olivia stared at what was now her glass, the one she'd drugged, like it was a copperhead coiled on the table. "Liv!" Travis had noticed something was wrong. He set down his platter and walked over, frowning. "Babe, what's going on? You look like you've seen a ghost."
Nothing. Your mother's being confused. Confused? I set the glass down with a sharp click. Like I'm confused about what you just put in my drink? The music seemed to lower. Or maybe people were just starting to notice the scene unfolding. Jennifer had stopped mid-conversation with Marcus. Several other guests were turning our way. I don't know what you're talking about. But her voice cracked. You're having one of your episodes. Episodes. Is that what we're calling it now? I stood up, and even though I'm only 5'3" in my orthopedic shoes, I felt 10 feet tall. You drink from your glass, sweetness, since there's nothing wrong with it. Travis stepped between us. Mom, what the hell is happening? Your wife just drugged my lemonade, and I swapped our glasses. The pool deck went dead silent. Even the fireworks seemed to pause. That's insane, Olivia's voice went shrill. She's making this up because she's never liked me because she thinks I'm not good enough for you. Then drink it, I said calmly. Prove me wrong. Take a nice big sip from that glass right there. Olivia's eyes filled with tears. Her whole body started shaking. I can't. I didn't. You don't understand what you've done to this family. What I've done? My voice rose now, all that southern politeness burning away. What have I done except love my son and try to protect him from whatever the hell has been going on in this house for months? Protect him? Olivia laughed, but it was bitter, broken. You've been spying on us, showing up unannounced, going through his things. Did you think I didn't know about the gym bag? That I didn't plant that photograph for you to find? The world tilted. You planted it? Of course I did. Tears streamed down her face now, mascara running, all her careful composure shattering. Because you're the only person Travis actually listens to. I knew if you found it, if you saw him with Jennifer, you'd finally make him tell you the truth. What truth? Travis's voice was barely a whisper. Liv, what did you do? I put my anxiety medication in that lemonade. She was full-on sobbing now. Steph suggested something else, something actually untraceable from her pharma connections. I couldn't do it, so I just used my own Xanax instead. 2 pills, crushed, not to hurt her, you idiot, to make her sick enough that everyone would see, that you'd see what your lying has been doing to me, to us. I was going to let people think maybe the food was bad, maybe someone brought something, and then Jennifer would offer to help, and everyone would wonder about her, and you'd have to finally tell your mother the truth instead of sneaking around like I'm the crazy one. My chest tightened. Anxiety medication? Xanax? How much? Not enough to kill you, just enough to make you dizzy, confused, so everyone would fuss over you and Travis would have to stay home and we could finally stop pretending. Olivia, Travis's voice was low, dangerous. You were going to drug my mother to manipulate me into a confession? Yes, she screamed it, because I've been losing my mind for 6 months, watching you sneak off to help Jennifer, watching you light up around her like I don't exist anymore, finding secret bank statements, phone calls you take in the garage, lies about where you've been. I can explain all of that. Then explain it! Olivia grabbed the glass, her glass, the drugged one, and held it up. Explain why you've been lying to me for months. Explain why you love her more than me. Explain why our marriage has been falling apart while you play house with your college friend. That's when Jennifer stepped forward, her face pale. Travis, I think you need to tell them. Jennifer, don't! Tell them now or I will. The fireworks started again, louder this time. Our neighbors had apparently decided to go all out. Red, white, and blue explosions lit up the sky. Travis looked at me, and I saw that little boy again, the one who'd broken Mrs. Patterson's window, the one who'd sworn on his daddy's grave. Jennifer's not my friend from college, he said quietly. We didn't meet at UT. Then where? I asked, my voice barely audible over the fireworks. Jennifer's eyes met mine, and I saw tears there. We met at a grief counseling group in Dallas 6 months ago. My stomach dropped. Grief counseling? For people dealing with family secrets, Travis continued, his voice shaking. for people who just found out about siblings they never knew existed. The world stopped. What?
Jennifer is my half-sister, Travis said. Dad's daughter. He had an affair when I was 2 years old. Her mother got pregnant. Dad left her, paid her off, and nobody ever knew. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think. The fireworks exploded overhead, but I couldn't hear them anymore over the roaring in my ears. That's impossible. Your daddy, Ray, wouldn't... There's a birth certificate, Mama. Travis's voice cracked on the word Mama. DNA test results, bank statements. Dad paid her mother $300,000 in hush money over 25 years. I found out when Jennifer tracked me down through one of those ancestry websites back in March. Jennifer wiped her eyes. I didn't mean to blow up anyone's life. My mother died 8 months ago. Cancer. While I was going through her things, I found all the documentation. Letters from Ray, canceled checks, everything. I wanted to know my father, but he'd already died, so I found Travis instead. It took me a few months to work up the courage to reach out. The hotel photo in Dallas. That was the day we met in person for the first time, after months of emails and phone calls. I didn't wear my ring because I didn't want anyone to recognize me and tell you before I was ready. I've been trying to figure out how to explain this for months, how to tell you that that everything you thought you knew was a lie. I finished, 68 years old, and my world was crumbling like sandcastles. Olivia made a choking sound. You let me think for months that I was having an affair, that I was crazy, that I was imagining things. I was trying to protect my mother, Travis shouted. I didn't know how to tell her that Dad was a cheater and a liar, that he had a whole other daughter he abandoned. So you let me lose my mind instead? Let me plan something this desperate, this insane, because I thought I was losing you? I didn't know you were planning to drug my mother. I wouldn't have if you'd just told me the truth. They were screaming at each other now, over the fireworks, over the shocked gasps of 42 people who'd come for burgers and a show, but got way more than they bargained for. And me? I was still trying to process. Ray. My Ray. The man who'd held my hand through labor, who'd slow danced with me in our kitchen to Conway Twitty, who'd promised me forever and meant it, or so I thought. He'd had another daughter, another family, another life. There's more, Jennifer said quietly, and I wanted to scream at her to stop, to please God stop talking, but she kept going. I didn't just track down Travis, I tracked down everything. The money trail, where it came from. What money trail? I asked, but I already knew. Deep down, I already knew. Your beach house in Port Aranda's, the one you think your husband bought for your retirement? My beautiful beach house? My retirement dream? Ray had surprised me with it for our 30th anniversary, 15 years ago. Papers all signed, deed in my name. The house where I'd planned to spend my golden years watching the waves. He didn't really buy it the way you think. He used embezzled money, the same money he was paying my mother to stay quiet about me. $300,000 stolen from his contracting business over 10 years. He used that dirty money to purchase the beach house and put it in your name as a surprise. On paper, it's yours. But the money trail proves it was bought with funds that should have been my mother's. When she died, I inherited her legal claim to those payments. I have all the bank records, the contracts, the proof of embezzlement. Everything.
The fireworks finale started, the grand explosion, red, white, and blue filling the entire sky, reflecting off the pool, illuminating 42 faces all staring at me. My husband was a cheater, an embezzler, a liar. My son had kept a secret that destroyed his marriage. My daughter-in-law had tried to drug me in a desperate attempt to expose that secret. My house, my dream, was bought with stolen money meant for a daughter I never knew existed. And I'd swapped that glass
thinking I was catching a poisoner, but instead I detonated a bomb that destroyed everything I thought I knew about my life. I looked at Travis, who was crying, at Olivia, who looked broken, at Jennifer, who looked like she wanted to disappear into the ground. "Mama," Travis started, reaching for me. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know how to—" "Don't." I held up my hand. "Just don't." I picked up the glass, the one I'd drunk from already, Olivia's original vodka lemonade, the one I knew was clean. I took another long drink. "You know what the funny thing is?" I said, my voice surprisingly steady. "I've spent 68 years being a good wife, a good mother, a good grandmother, playing by all the rules, trusting the right people. And for what?" Nobody answered. The fireworks kept exploding. "For what?" I repeated louder now. "So I could find out at a 4th of July barbecue that my entire life was built on lies? That my husband had another family? That my son doesn't trust me? That my daughter-in-law would rather drug me than talk to me? That my home was bought with stolen money?" "Mrs. Montgomery," Jennifer started. "And you," turning to her, "you could have come to me first, could have introduced yourself, could have given me the dignity of learning about you in private. But instead, you wormed your way into my family and let me watch my son fall apart trying to protect me from a truth I deserved to know." "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I thought Travis should be the one to tell you. Well, he didn't, so here we are." The finale ended. The sky went dark. Someone's speaker was still playing music, but it felt obscene now. Luke Combs singing about beer and trucks while my family imploded. I set down the glass and looked at all three of them. "I need to know something," I said to Olivia. "Did you really put your medication in that drink, or was that a lie too?" She nodded, miserable. "Xanax. 2 pills, crushed. I'm on a high dose for anxiety. It wouldn't have killed you, I swear. Just made you sick and confused for a few hours. And you were going to let everyone think it was food poisoning? Or maybe blame Jennifer? I don't know. I wasn't thinking straight. I've been barely sleeping, barely eating. I thought I was losing my husband to another woman. I thought—" She broke down completely. "I thought if you got sick, Travis would stay home and take care of you, and we'd finally have to talk about whatever the hell was going on. So instead of just asking him directly, you decided to commit assault. I know it's insane, but you try living with someone who's lying to you for 6 months straight and see how sane you stay." She had a point. A twisted, illegal, completely unhinged point, but a point nonetheless. I turned to Travis. "And you really thought keeping this from me was protecting me? I didn't want to taint your memories of Dad. You loved him so much. I didn't want to take that away from you. So you let me keep living a lie? I was trying to find the right time."
"There is no right time for news like this, son. There's just the truth and the telling of it." I looked at Jennifer last, this stranger who was also my family, my husband's daughter, my son's sister. "Do you really have a legal claim to my beach house?" She nodded. "On paper, the deed is still in your name. But with everything I've uncovered, the embezzlement trail, the hush money payments, all of it, a court would likely rule that the house was bought with money that should have gone to my mother. I'm not trying to take it from you. I've been paying the property taxes for the past 8 months and not saying anything, because I knew it would hurt you. But yes, legally, I could challenge that deed. But now it's out. Now it's out." I took a deep breath. The night air smelled like gunpowder and chlorine and barbecue sauce. 42 people were still watching, waiting to see what the crazy old lady would do next. "Everyone can go home now," I announced loudly. "Show's over." People scattered like roaches when you turn on the light. Suddenly, everyone remembered they had to be somewhere, had to check on their kids, had to feed their dog. Within 15 minutes, the pool deck was empty except for family. Travis, Olivia, Jennifer, and me. "Sit," I commanded, pointing at the patio furniture. They sat. I remained standing. Felt good to literally have the higher ground for once.
Here's what's going to happen, I said, my voice hard as limestone. Travis, you're going to marriage counseling. Not the kind where you talk about your feelings for an hour, the real kind, where they teach you that keeping secrets, even to protect someone, is just another form of lying. Mama, I'm not finished. Olivia, you're checking yourself into a treatment program, voluntary, tonight, because what you did was assault, honey. I could press charges. I probably should press charges, but I'm not going to on one condition. You get professional help, the kind they don't offer at your fancy yoga studio. Olivia nodded, crying silently. And you, I turned to Jennifer, you're going to sit down with me tomorrow morning at my house, and you're going to tell me everything about your mother, about your childhood, about Ray. I want the truth, all of it, even the parts that'll hurt. Can you do that? Yes, ma'am. Good. And then we're going to a lawyer together, and we're going to figure out this beach house situation like adults. Maybe we share it. Maybe I buy out your claim. Maybe you keep the legal rights and I make peace with that. But we're doing it legally and properly, not in secret. I felt something crack inside my chest. Not breaking, cracking. Like ice on a pond in early spring, the first sign of a thaw. You should know something, I said, softer now. I'm angry, I'm hurt, I'm devastated, but I'm not stupid. I understand why each of you did what you did, even if I think you all went about it in the worst possible ways. I looked at Travis. You were trying to preserve my memories of your father. That's misguided and paternalistic and insulting to my intelligence, but it came from love. Then at Olivia. You were drowning in paranoia and fear, watching your marriage implode and thinking you were the problem. What you did was wrong, but I understand desperate. And finally, at Jennifer. And you were just trying to find family after your mother died, trying to know the father who abandoned you. I can't fault you for that, even if I wish you'd done it differently. Jennifer's lip trembled. I never meant to hurt anyone. I just wanted to know where I came from.
Well, you come from Ray Montgomery, which apparently means you come from secrets and lies and money problems and a talent for compartmentalizing that would make a CIA agent jealous. I sat down finally, my knees giving out. Suddenly, I felt every single one of my 68 years. My husband was a cheater, I said to the night sky. I'm going to have to live with that, going to have to rewrite every memory I have of our marriage, wondering what else he lied about. That's going to take me years to process, if I ever do. Grandma Lorraine, Travis started. But here's the thing about getting old. You learn that nobody's just one thing. People are complicated. Your daddy, he was a cheater and a liar. He was also the man who sat up with you all night when you had croup at age 5, who taught you how to throw a curveball, who built that treehouse in our backyard by hand and let you help even though you kept dropping the nails. Travis wiped his eyes. He was both things, good and bad, loving and deceitful. And I get to decide what I do with that information. Not you. Me. I stood up again, my knees protesting. Now, Olivia, you have a bag packed? She looked startled. What? For the treatment program. We're taking you tonight. There's a good facility up in Georgetown. I looked it up last week when I suspected you might be planning something. Her eyes widened. You knew? Honey, I heard you on the phone with your sister 2 weeks ago. I've been watching you watch us all summer. I knew something was coming. I just didn't know what. That's why I set up the camera. I pointed to the potted fern. All 3 of them turned to look at it. You recorded everything? Travis asked. Every word from the moment Olivia drugged my drink to this very conversation. That baby monitor has surprisingly good audio and a wide-angle lens. It caught the whole thing. So if any of you decides to lie about what happened here tonight, I have proof. Are you going to use it? Olivia whispered. I thought about it. Really thought about it. This woman had tried to drug me, had planned to frame an innocent person, had crossed so many lines I couldn't count them all. But she had also been driven to it by her own husband's lies, by her own untreated anxiety, by a situation that would have made anyone feel crazy. No, I said finally. I'm going to keep it as insurance, as a reminder to all of us about what happens when we let secrets fester. But I'm not going to use it, not unless one of you gives me a reason to. Olivia collapsed into sobs of relief. But you are going to treatment, tonight. And Travis is driving you. And then he's coming back here and cleaning up this entire mess while I go home and try to figure out what the hell I'm going to do with the rest of my life. I picked up my purse, I'd been clutching it this whole time, I realized, and walked toward the gate. Grandma Lorraine? Jennifer called out. Tomorrow morning. What time should I come over? I paused, looked back at this young woman who was my husband's daughter, who had his nose, now that I looked at her properly, who had his blonde hair, his blue eyes, his smile. My husband's daughter. My son's sister. My family, whether I liked it or not. 8 o'clock, I said, and bring coffee, the good kind, from Mozart's. We're going to be talking for a long time. She nodded, wiping her eyes.
I left them there, my broken son, my desperate daughter-in-law, my secret stepdaughter, sitting in the wreckage of a 4th of July barbecue that would go down in family history. The drive home to Clarksville took 15 minutes. 15 minutes of silence. Just me and the empty Austin streets and the sound of distant fireworks still popping off in neighborhoods full of families who didn't know how good they had it. When I got home, I sat in my car in the driveway for a long time, looked at my little bungalow, the one Ray and I had bought 40 years ago when Travis was just a baby, the one we'd painted yellow because I loved sunflowers, the one where we'd raised our son and celebrated anniversaries and hosted Christmases and built a life. A life built on lies, apparently, but also built on love, real love, complicated, messy, imperfect love. I finally went inside, made myself a cup of chamomile tea, sat at my kitchen table and looked at the photo album I kept there, the one with pictures of Ray and me through the years. Our wedding day at Silker Botanical Gardens, Travis's birth, Kristen's birth 2 years later, family vacations to South Padre Island, Ray's 50th birthday party, our 30th anniversary trip to Colorado. All real, all true, all still mine, even if they were also built on lies. Damn you, Ray Montgomery, I whispered to the photograph of us on our wedding day. Damn you for being human, for being weak, for leaving me here to clean up your mess. But I also touched his face in the photo because I'd loved him. Despite everything, I'd loved him. My phone buzzed. A text from Travis. Got Liv checked in. She's gonna be okay. I'm sorry, Mama, for everything. Another text from Jennifer. Thank you for giving me a chance. See you at 8. I won't let you down. I didn't respond to either of them. Instead, I pulled up my contacts and found the number for my lawyer, Sharon Wu. Sent her an email asking her to clear her schedule for next week. We had a lot to discuss. Then, I opened a new text to my daughter Kristen up in Portland. This was going to be a long conversation, telling her she had a new sister, that her father had a whole secret life, that everything we thought we knew about our family was different now. But it could wait until morning, when I had the energy, when I could explain it all properly. But tonight I was just going to sit here with my tea and my photo albums and my shattered illusions and try to figure out who Lorraine Montgomery was going to be now that she knew the truth. 68 years old, and I was starting over. The beach house in Port Aransas looks different in winter, quieter. The tourists are gone, leaving just locals and seagulls and the endless sound of waves hitting sand. I'm sitting on the back deck, wrapped in one of Ray's old UT sweatshirts, drinking coffee and watching the sunrise. Jennifer's inside, making breakfast. She's apparently inherited Ray's talent for pancakes, which is both wonderful and heartbreaking. We worked it out, the two of us. With Sharon's help, we created a legal agreement, After reviewing all the documentation, the embezzlement trail, the hush money payments, everything, we had the deed officially transferred to both our names. Joint ownership. The house belongs to both of us now. Jennifer uses it in the summer, I use it in the winter, and we split the upkeep costs. It's not perfect, but it works. She's also teaching yoga classes in town, settling into Port Aransas life. We meet for coffee every week when I'm down here. She tells me stories about her mother, about growing up knowing she had a father somewhere who didn't want her. I tell her stories about Ray, about the man he was to me and Travis and Kristen. We're building something. Not a traditional relationship. It's too late for me to be her mother and too weird for us to just be friends. But we're family. Complicated, messy, still figuring it out family. Travis and Olivia are still married. Barely. They're in therapy twice a week, and some days I think they'll make it, and some days I think they're just delaying the inevitable. But they're trying. That's something.
Olivia completed her treatment program and found a new therapist who specializes in anxiety and family trauma. She still teaches yoga, but she's cut back her hours, learning to prioritize her mental health over her Instagram aesthetic. Travis actually talks to me now, really talks, about his feelings, his fears, his struggles. Turns out keeping that secret about Jennifer for 6 months nearly destroyed him. The guilt, the pressure, the constant lying. He's warning that protecting people by lying to them isn't actually protection at all. Kristen flew down from Portland in August. I sat her down and told her everything. About Jennifer, about Ray's affair and embezzlement, about the beach house, all of it. She cried, got angry, asked a million questions. Then she asked to meet Jennifer. They had coffee together in Austin, just the two of them. And now they text sometimes, slowly building their own sibling relationship. And me? I'm learning how to live with complicated truths. Ray was a cheater. He was also a good father to the children he chose to raise, and a loving husband most of the time. He made terrible choices that hurt people, including a daughter he abandoned, but he also made good choices, like being there for Travis and Kristen when it mattered, like loving me, even if that love was imperfect. People contain multitudes. It's taken me 68 years to really understand that. Jennifer comes out onto the deck with 2 plates of pancakes. Chocolate chip, just how you like them. You know, your father made them exactly the same way, with the chips arranged in a smiley face. She looks at her plate, at the deliberate chocolate chip smile, and tears up a little. I didn't even realize I was doing that. Muscle memory, maybe? Or genetics? Or magic? Who knows? We eat in comfortable silence, watching the waves. A pod of dolphins swim by close to shore. Jennifer points them out excitedly, and I remember Travis doing the same thing when he was little. And for a moment, I can see the family resemblance so clearly it hurts. My phone buzzes. A text from Travis. Happy New Year, Mama. Love you more than words. It's January 1st. A new year. A fresh start, if you believe in that sort of thing. I text back, love you too, son. See you next week for dinner. Bring your sister. Both of them. Because that's what Jennifer is now. Travis's sister. Kristen's sister. My stepdaughter. Part of this weird, broken, rebuilding family. Everything okay? Jennifer asks. Everything's complicated, I answer. But yeah, I think it's going to be okay. She smiles, Ray's smile, and takes another bite of pancakes. The sun climbs higher, turning the ocean gold and pink and orange. A new day, a new year, a new version of our family that nobody planned for, but everybody has to navigate. That 4th of July barbecue destroyed the family I thought I had. But maybe, just maybe, it's building something better, something more honest, something real. I raise my coffee mug to the sunrise, to raise memory to the messy truth of it all. Here's to glass swaps, I say softly, and the things they reveal. Jennifer clinks her mug against mine, and to the families that survive them. We drink our coffee and watch the dolphins and start another day of figuring out what comes next. Because that's what you do when secrets explode and families shatter.
You pick up the pieces, even the ones that cut you, and you build something new. Even at 68, especially at 68, it's never too late to start over. So there you have it, friends. The craziest 4th of July barbecue in Austin, Texas history. What would you have done in Lorraine's shoes? Would you have swapped that glass? Would you have forgiven them all? And here's the real question. Do you think Travis and Olivia's marriage will survive this? Or are they headed for divorce? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I love a good debate. And if you made it this far through this emotional roller coaster, you better hit that subscribe button because trust me, we're just getting started with these stories. Next time, I've got a tale about a grandmother who discovered her son-in-law's real profession at a charity gala. And honey, let me tell you, when she exposed him in front of Dallas high society, this story looked tame. Until next time, remember, when somebody shows you who they are in the dark, you light up the whole damn room. Sweet tea and bitter truths, y'all. That's what we're all about.